It is indeed a pleasure to have this privilege to play here for you. We intend to give you a very fine program, so just settle back,
Mic
relax,
check.
and enjoy the moment.
Yo. Sorry for the tardiness. Little technical difficulties behind the scene, but we here. Megsy, what up? Megsy, I got your note pen right against my wall of inspiration. I appreciate you. If I haven't said it enough, Brian, how you doing? Welcome back. How y'all feeling? D. Bartlett in the house. Denise, what up, Denise? You was the first to check in. Good morning. I was rude. I didn't acknowledge that. What's up, y'all? Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm here though. I want to just, first of all, I'm going to definitely continue to set the intention for each live stream. Sounds shishi foo, but it's what I do in my professional life as a facilitator. It's really important as a facilitator, as a leader, a manager, whatever it is that I'm doing. It's critically important. Thank you, Denise, to make sure I start setting the intention in all aspects of what I do. I can't do work if it doesn't have meaning, right? And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's the shift that I started to make when I relocated here, when I decided to leave, my former life as a retail executive, and come down here and make my own way. Sometimes I forgot what prompted the move. Sometimes I forget why I really do what I do. And so I don't want to do that. I want to continue to practice some sort of mindfulness here. And so I want to say this, like, it's been a minute. I took some days off. I really needed it. I need more days off. To be real with you, I realize how much rest I need. And I've been running like a mile a minute. Even on my birthday, that was a beautiful trip with my family, but it was hustle and bustle, right? It was flights booked too early. It was a lot. It was trying to get a lot of time in, but I just feel a little tired, and I wanted to confide in y'all and let y'all know that. But the quality of this live stream and the content I create will continue to get better and be refined. But I just want to acknowledge that there was a lot of things I wanted to do this weekend. I'm like, I got these days off. I can just go ahead and churn out, finish up the shopping cart for the exclusive tees and hoodies, and I didn't do any of that, and I'm okay with that. I want to be more mindful. This past week, a lot of folks observed, if y'all observe things taken, no shame, no nothing like that. Hey. If y'all observe it personally, I know you probably spent time with family. I hope that you all are okay. Some people entered into unsavory family situations, and I mean that seriously. Some folks, the holidays aren't as good morning, little mama. The holidays aren't always easy. Being with family is tough. So I want to say I see you, and give yourself permission to take a break and to decompress if you need to. If you had a tumultuous or stressful holiday experience, do that. I want to also say we saw like some high profile. Hey, what's up? Whiskey Neat is back. Whiskey Neat. No. Whiskey Neat. Hey. Good to see you, Whiskey Neat. I know you're busy out there getting it. I know you're out there killing it in the Queen City. But yeah, I just want to say, if you're going through a tough period, if the holidays don't really mean, like, I definitely feel that as well. Anyway, I wanted to set the intention, let you know that I'm here. But if you're here in a limited capacity, lean into it. If you want to take breaks, lean into that as well. I want to just say this too. It's 8:07. I was like 2 minutes late because there was a little hiccup. So y'all in the chat here on Twitch, I'm not streaming anywhere else but Twitch, because we had a little flashback to how live stream interruption last time I last time I went live. Y'all, if y'all see anything peculiar, let me know. Like, I'm just now getting the update of how many people watching. 16 eyeballs on. How y'all doing? Good morning. Hey, El Cool J. Hey, El Cool J is driving I-95 from Florida. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh man, y'all out here ripping and running. Allie be ripping and running. El Cool J, you stay ripping and running. Lil Mama, you stay all over the place, ripping and running. And creating dope art. Y'all be ripping and running. I appreciate y'all for prioritizing Mic'd Up with Mika. So intention is set. We're here, space of grace. If you need grace, go ahead. If you need to just listen to me and don't look at me, go ahead. I love that when you watch on Twitch, you can do that. You can, put your screen on sleep and you can still hear my beautiful voice. La la la. Hey Michelle, good to see you. Listening at the gym. Thank you. Yeah, but keep an eye out on anything, y'all. Let me know if there's any interruptions. It's a lag. I also ask you that you do it gently because you know me. I'm easily startled and distracted. So do it gently. If there is an interruption, please do that. We're gonna jump into headlines, y'all. There's a bunch. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to all of them. I feel like I got a dentist appointment that I'm about to forget, so I want to be conscious of time, but I'm like, screw it. Nancy Mace. I put it on the Twitter teaser. Nancy Mace plays a doctor on TV, kind of, sort of. So hey, look, it's Justin. Justin, you back too early. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. Justin, you are no laughing matter. Justin and Whiskey Neat. Okay. Yeah, too many headlines. Nancy Mace playing a doctor on TV. Stop playing in our face, Nancy, please. Tim Scott out here just upholding white supremacy as he always does, racializing poverty, racializing inequity up there, whatever. Trey Gowdy and Lindsey Graham out here kikiing it up, trying to be cute, Fitz News having a man tantrum over there. Shout out to Paul Bowers. Shout out to Caroline Grego, historian who put the Post and Courier on blast because I know that button. Yeah. Noah Jokes is in the house. Joni's in the house. Look at this. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. It's not even gonna be that exciting, but let's go. Oh man. Yeah, let me know your technical difficulties because I'm seeing some stuff. Let me see. Okay. Transition. Let me see the transition. Oh. Okay, just making sure I see things. I want to say shout out to Ryan Michael Belk. Thank you so much. Thank you. You tipped me. I see it right here. You tipped me on over the weekend on Twitch. I appreciate you. I didn't know where that came from until I logged on. Thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to my new patrons. Christy S. Michelle, thank you, Michelle. Leslie, Judy D. So Christy S, Michelle, Leslie B, and Judy D. Thank you so much, new patrons. Thank you. I'm telling you, them student loans about to kick back in. I'm putting this thing together. I'm freelancing. I'm doing a lot. But when y'all pour into me, it means a lot. Thank you, little mama, for them apple cider donuts. Damn it. Had to freeze half of them because they are crack. They are addictive. They are a problem, right? Right. And thank you for the tips through the studio, the Deckman studio. Thank you. Little mama, for posting my Venmo page. I think it's my Venmo. Thank you so much. Y'all looking at my personal emails. Y'all don't need to be seeing that. All right, so let's go. Where do we start? Let's just start on Twitter. I know people were the first time watchers damn, she talk a lot. Don't she get to the news? Yeah. Little mama hooked me up with back in Jersey. There's a place called Delicious Orchard. And Delicious Orchard is what it sounds like. I don't believe it was a plantation, like Boone Hall Farms or whatever the fuck they call themselves. No, so Delicious Orchard, I grew up on it. Grew up on their cider. Grew up on their apple pies. Grew up on their apples, and they make hellified delicious apple cider donuts. And when I tell you them things went in the oven, little mama, they went in the oven 350 degrees for 5 minutes. Man, All right, so let's get to Dr. Annie Andrews, Nancy Mace playing a doctor on TV. So this is Nancy Mace, and I'm gonna point out some other things too. I want y'all to pay attention to in terms of media and watching politicians. This is not to make. I want to repeat this. This is not to make you skeptical of Dr. Annie Andrews. What I'm trying to do, along with trying to impart some sort of media literacy, I don't know how good I am at that, but I do it in my own way. What I'm trying to do is show you things, so you take a peek behind the curtain, so you see the Wiz of Oz, right, pulling all the levers behind the curtain. I think it's important, and I think that any candidate worth their salt would want a clever or smart or engaged constituency. So we're gonna do it at just a skosh. Just a skosh. We're gonna look a little bit behind the scenes, things I want to point out, so you see what's going on. But Dr. Annie Andrews on Twitter, if you're not following, it's a great follow. On Twitter, her team is doing a really great job. So they often retweet or engage with Aaron Rupar here. Aaron Rupar is a member of the media. If you're probably in any like liberal media circles, you'll see him retweet a lot of things, but he's been very consistent with engaging Nancy Mace content. What I'm trying to point out with that is that's not a coincidence, right? So the operatives and the key architects building out Dr. Annie Andrews' campaign is probably doing something, whether informally or formally, right? Engaging in some sort of relationship with this media member. I want you to see, I want you to look for patterns in like who the Dr. Annie Andrews account, because it's not really her anymore, right? It's a political account, so it's run by either one chief admin or a number of people. But I want you to see how many, who is retweeted, what CEOs are retweeted. I want you to look at that. That way it informs you on who's running the campaign and how the campaign is being run. Again, not nefarious, just politics, right? It's how the sausage is made, right? So Aaron Rupar, again, is an account that I've seen this candidate, Dr. Annie Andrews, engage often. And it's been great. It's actually been a great, he has huge, he has how many followers? Yeah, almost 1 million followers, right? And he is journalist, right? Does his own thing on Substack, like so many other journalists who have left certain legacy media institutions, right? Just watch for the pattern. Ain't nothing nefarious. It's what you need to do. You got to work. You got to create relationships with media members, right? Yeah. All right, so let's just watch this. I know I'm talking a lot. Can y'all tell I'm back on Yerba Mate? I'm back. Okay. So let's rewind this. Nancy Mace made a couple of headlines. She's in Taiwan and she's over here, but we're going to get to it.
And one of the things that the CDC has not done, and no policymaker at the federal level has done so far, is taken into account what natural immunity does. And that may be what we're seeing in Florida today. In some studies that I have read, natural immunity gives you 27 times more protection against future COVID infection than a vaccination. And so we
wrong.
To take all of the science into account and not selectively choosing what science to follow when we are making policy decisions. And you're seeing, I believe, Governor DeSantis is, seeing the fruit of that labor today.
Anybody who cites Governor DeSantis is an idiot. I'm sorry. So Aaron Rupar, y'all been reading it because it's been on the screen as I was bloviating. Nancy Mace is on Fox News suggesting that people should get COVID rather than get vaccinated because natural immunity is preferable, right? So again, Aaron's been giving me, providing me with a couple of laughs with his contextualization or his commentary on all Nancy Mace things. You also have, this is a notable name right here, Joseph Saccharin, in terms of like the medical field, I believe, right? Here we go. Trauma, gun violence. I want you to also, with Dr. Annie Andrews, you already know this is no secret. You've seen Dr. Annie Andrews be very active with Moms Demand Action here locally in the Low Country. And so a lot of doctors who are advocating for more common sense gun legislation, especially doctors on the front lines who witnessed the trauma and witness the savage, just the carnage that comes from gun violence. A lot of doctors have chosen to politicize, what they do in a positive way. I don't, maybe politicize is not the right word, but a lot of doctors have tried to leverage that experience they have on the front lines to teach a lesson, and I think it's actually interesting to watch and a good strategy. So you have Joseph Saccharin here, Dr. Joseph Saccharin here lifting up this tweet and lifting up Dr. Annie Andrews. So you'll see that, though. You're going to see tons of medical professionals do a similar thing. So let me see if there's more I wanted to get on that one. Hold on. Susanna, good morning, Susanna. How you doing? You said so long. She has long COVID, and somehow she still thinks natural immunity is better. Yeah, it's really sad. And I'm trying to get to Dr. Annie Andrews' her tweet. Let me just go to her account and stop being silly. All right. Hey. Who's this? Susanna. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Susanna. Thank you for gifting this up. All right, let's get to it. I want to get to her exact quote. Here it is. Oh, no, that's the second one. So, again, Aaron Rupert here, because Nancy Mace got pilloried for this take, right? Like, not just like by our circles here, are the little, like, I guess, neoliberal, dim circles in low country. And I'm not a neoliberal, but you get what I'm saying. But this kind of had a little moment over the weekend. So Aaron Rupert again engaged Nancy Mace hours after speaking out on behalf of natural immunity against mandates on Fox News. Nancy Mace joined CNN and said she's a big proponent of vaccines. This is classic Nancy Mace. All right, so Dr. Annie Andrews, seeing that tweet, she writes, or her team writes, this type of mixed messaging is incredibly dangerous and has tragic consequences. We see it every day in the hospital. COVID doesn't care what party you're in or where you get your news. Nancy, you're making things worse on behalf of healthcare workers everywhere. Please stop. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to see this back and forth. Happy Hanukkah, by the way. I want to continue to watch this back and forth, because I want to see more. I think it's easy to debunk Mace. It's easy to dunk on Mace. How do we turn that into actual votes? How do we turn it into actual engagement? What I know is going to happen is that, and this is just me talking plainly about race, as I often do, white women are already just ecstatic about Dr. Annie Andrews in a way that they probably haven't been or won't be about another candidate, perhaps of color or with other type of identities. And I'm not. That's just a thing. That's white women support white women, for the most part. They ain't support Hillary, but you get what I'm saying. I think within Dem factions that she's already immensely popular, but she's already earned that, right? With her work with Moms Demand Action, her work at MUSC, she's already earned that. And I mean that sincerely. So I don't think it's going to be a problem for, like, let's say your typical Charleston Dems, casual, League of Women Voters, member. This is a slam dunk, but I want to see that translate into other issues. Like you're just like with Joe Cunningham, you can't afford to be a single issue candidate, and Mace can't be your only issue. Does that make sense? Right? Joe Cunningham, he lucked up on offshore drilling when Katie Arrington fumbled the ball on the goal line and was like, went all in on her Trumpism and went all in on, no, let's drill the fuck out of everything, right? Because Trump likes that too, even though she knew better, right? She went all in on Trump, and that just wasn't right for her district. And so Joe Cunningham lucked up on offshore drilling, and that's all. That's it. Like, oh, environment. Then what didn't happen? It was that the Dems didn't force Joe to be a more well-rounded candidate. Now, and we're going to get to his op-ed that was published on the 24th. Now we see him. Tyler is getting his shit together, and maybe because it's a statewide race, I don't. Well, no, because Congress is a big fucking deal too. But I don't know what it is, but he's getting his shit together with having a more well-rounded message and able to touch on more than one thing. He's a more dimensional candidate. Still not great in person, still not a great talker, right? And so with I guess my whole point. Good morning, Joy. It's good to see you. And Justin, I got you in the chat. I got you. But we need Dr. Annie Andrews to be more than a single issue candidate who dunks on Mace. When I tell you, when I put Nancy Mace in any of the subject headings or of a newsletter, or if I post anything on Instagram, that shit goes like crazy, right? People just engage with it because it's easy. It's easy. I don't do it for clicks, but I know when I do it, folks like that. They like having the same thing with the Catherine Dennis shit. Like, they like the villain. They like dunking on and joking on the villain. But that's cool to a point. At some point, we have to push Dr. Annie Andrews to be better and to show up for everyone, and not just be a very singularly focused candidate, only focused on dunking on Mace. And I think the Dems in this state, and how I see the Dem leadership moving, they actually, I don't know what they're doing. They're not trying to put out strong candidates to make the next crop stronger. I see them trying to be strategic in what they can win. Like, they probably won't win certain statewide races, but they can win the Twitter war. They can win the rhetoric war. They can win the optics race, like the optics thing. But can they win elections? Do they position their candidates to win elections? And I've yet to see that with the South Carolina Democratic establishment. But we got to push that. I love what I'm seeing. Her team, who's helping her craft her tweets. Cause y'all, it ain't her. Like, just so y'all know, it ain't her. Not completely, if that makes any sense. This is great. This is a well-run campaign, but we need to see more. And I just don't want to keep watching a highlight reel of you dunking. You know, it's like watching Kobe dunk on like a 7th grader. Like, that ain't okay. But I do think it's important for her to refute, these alternative facts that Mace has come out with following COVID. So Nancy Mace definitely helped her raise funds over the weekend with this, with that asinine video, and then goes back to like, oh yeah, oh, no, vaccines are dope. Vaccines are dope. She just trying to have it both ways. So yeah, Nancy Mace playing a doctor on TV. Let's get to some other. So we started there. I want to start with things that have video content. Yeah, let's stay with medicine then. I'm not gonna play a doctor on Twitch, so let's watch some.
Tonight we began with the latest concerns on the new coronavirus variant.
So yeah, this is the new I always want to call this variant Omarion, and it's not. I know it's Omicron. Omarion, just as deadly. No, I'm joking. I know it was a bad joke.
Tonight we began.
Okay, so yeah, this is WLTX, the new CBS News affiliate out of Columbia. Before we hit that, Justin, you said Nancy went on CNN a few hours later promoting vaccines with the B-roll, right? Getting her vaccinated. Absolutely. And we saw that in that little clip. I didn't play it, though. We're going to play another Nancy clip in a second. All right. Like, thank you so much, Brianna. I appreciate that. KCJ18. That was good. Okay, B2K fans about to attack me. All right, I'm sorry. All right, so the Omicron variant is very serious. I'm serious. Let me switch up. It's very serious. I mean, when we gonna learn? I don't know. When we gonna decide to, like, we gonna keep seeing all the Greek alphabet? They gonna have to switch to another, I don't know, another set of letters. But we got to get it together. We got to get it together for real. But this is, I wanted to just play a local news affiliate.
Tonight we began with the latest concerns on the new coronavirus variant Omicron.
What's she call it? Wait.
And Australia are the latest countries to report.
What is it, Omicron or Omicron? What is it? Don't stop. Y'all got to stop with the lyrics. Is it Omicron? I'm not even trying to be funny with her. What is it? That sounds like a transformer.
Tonight we began with the latest concerns on the new coronavirus variant Omicron. The Netherlands and Australia are the latest countries to report confirmed cases of the new variant. Israel and Morocco announced strict new flight restrictions after South Africa announced last week that the new variant appears to be spreading throughout the region.
Okay, that was quick. Oh my God, that Matthew McConaughey story. I'm not even. I see Beto's running for governor. All right, so this is another Nancy Mace headline here. So Nancy Mace out there with her alternative facts, her fake, pulled out her rumpus facts on COVID and natural immunity. And then here's another Mace story that it's gonna knock your socks off, I guess. Megatron.
U.S. Congresswoman Nancy Mace returned to the United
Noah, you get me. You so do. Yeah.
U.S. Congresswoman Nancy Mace returned to the United States today after a trip to the Indo-Pacific region.
Do I pronounce it G-Narvis? G-Narvis. That was good. COVID in disguise. That was good. 80s babies.
The bipartisan group of lawmakers stopped in Alaska, Japan, and South Korea, spending Thanksgiving with U.S. troops. The last leg of their tour, a surprise visit to Taiwan. News 2's Kevon Dupree has the story.
Yo, I'm sorry. I'm trying to like reduce it. I'm trying to pause it without it reducing to this size. This chick is like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, but way less cooler and fun to watch after school? I'm telling you, she everywhere but where she need to be. She has to be exhausted. Like, Nancy, you gotta be exhausted.
The last leg of their tour, a surprise visit to Taiwan. News 2's Kevon Dupree has the story.
We support Taiwan. Nobody wants war with China. I mean, everyone wants peace. And to do that, we've got to be able to find ways to work together.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace and other representatives touching down in Taiwan. The visit was met with backlash before they even landed.
China, during our visit, was flying planes into airspace near Taiwan.
The representative took to Twitter to show her support for democracy in Taiwan, despite Chinese opposition.
That tweet, went around the world, really, and it was amazing to see the support from the Taiwanese people, Taiwanese Americans.
She said that reaffirming the United States' support for Taiwan is an important piece of global politics.
Taiwan is an important piece to economies in China, economies in the United States, and other countries around the world.
The visit marked the end of a multi-stop tour of the region, the delegation meeting with diplomats to strengthen the U.S.'s relationship with other allies as well.
We visited Japan, Okinawa specifically, South Korea, and then ended in Taiwan.
She says bipartisan trips like this are critical for demonstrating America's strength both at home and abroad.
Let me pause this.
When we're cohesive, like in this.
So I got a big problem with this. I got a big problem with this news package. I know this is a relatively new, at least new to this area, reporter with WCBD Channel News, our NBC News affiliate, right out of Charleston here. I usually, when you see these type of like, hey, this was a remote interview done, via Zoom or FaceTime. Sometimes the reporter would position it so you'd see them and having the interview. I don't know if the reporter who's narrating conducted the interview, but I'd love to hear some fucking questions from a reporter pushing like something. If not even like, it doesn't even have to push back per se, but I'd love to hear like a question from the reporter to Mace. I know if you're doing FaceTime that might not look great, but there has to be a way to make it look like you've asked Mace a question and she answered a question. What this really feels like, and I'm really watching these relationships that all of these candidates have with news outlets, is like Mace just gets to kind of go on and on and on. Let me give this word a workout, bloviate, without any real back and forth. And I think that's not really cool. Like, why is she over there? Why is she defying China? Why is it even written like she's some sort of heroine in some sort of comic book? I don't understand a number of editorial decisions right here from WCBD. Where's the back and forth? Little mama? Let me see. You said she was mad. Well, she was mad at Kamala for a 300... Wait, 300 PO. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, but I remember like all the backlash Kamala got for not going to the border, all other shit. And so now she's where in the world is Nancy Mace now, all over the place. Let me let this finish out. I don't know why it does that. Sorry, y'all.
Bipartisan delegation. It shows great strength around the world, and that is important for us so that our friends, our allies can depend on us to come together in a time of need, and we'll be there for them.
Reporting in Mount Pleasant, Kevon Dupree, Count on 2.
Yeah, Kevon, I really wish I would have heard you ask her a direct question and had her answer it. What's 300 POT? What's that mean? Oh, T-O. Oh my gosh. What? That's corny. Rest in peace, Virgil. We're not going to get into that. I said happy Hanukkah. Oh, let's play this. This is the mayor. This is what happened. This is the guy that you just heard from. Just a quick local news, like roundup real quick. And then I'm going to get to the other headlines that are more with the state newspaper and the Post and Courier in a second. But this is the guy you just heard from. I think he's new. I'd never seen his face until I started pulling these clips together for this morning's live stream.
The holiday season is officially here in the Low Country. Celebrations across our area tonight, a Christmas tree lighting on Folly Beach, and the lighting of the menorah in downtown Charleston. News 2's Kevon Dupree was there as leaders celebrated the start of Hanukkah.
Marion Square is quiet now, but just a few short hours ago, it was full of life with live music and lots of food as people gathered to celebrate the 14th annual Hanukkah in the square.
You sound so serious.
It's wonderful to celebrate in a community like Charleston. This is the epitome of what Charleston's about.
Light, love, and fellowship were the messages of Hanukkah in the square.
I saw these all set up.
The crowds here are just awesome.
All the tents and stuff.
And celebrating Hanukkah with this kind of a festival just makes it even more special.
People of all faiths were welcome.
Looks like
whether
fun.
You've attended all 14 years of the event or if this was your first time.
This is my first time here, so it's just really nice to see all these people here and to be able to celebrate my Judaism.
Mayor Tecklenburg says this is one of his favorite events of the year and is an official start to the holiday season.
It's an amazing festival of lights and celebration of love, compassion, religious freedom.
It looks fun, Brienne.
It's beautiful.
And organizers are grateful for the opportunity to come together as a family again.
Hanukkah really symbolizes what this country is about. It's about celebrating religious freedom, that everyone can shine their light, everyone can express themselves in their own particular way. And to be able to do it in Marion Square in the center of Charleston is the most wonderful way of doing it.
Reporting in Marion Square, Kevon Dupree, Count on 2.
So that's Kevon again. So keep my eyes on that. That was really nice. I wanted to play that because just in case folks missed it or wanted to know if it went down like that, right? All right. So we're gonna have a Citadel. We're gonna have a Citadel live stream soon enough. Let's get back to the real quick because this is gonna be light work. Oh yeah, I got it all queued up. Good. Let's get back to let me not keep showing my personal email. No, we don't want that yet. Let's do some light work. Shout out to Paul Bowers. Y'all, for real, on a serious note, please support Paul Bowers. Please consider it, right? He's on Substack, much like Hannah is. I'm currently subscribed to both Hannah Raskin and Paul Bowers Substack. I'm not always able to pour over their reporting or their writing or whatnot, but it's super interesting and just very unique, both of them in their own, they're both helming different areas of news and information and whatnot. Hannah's all food and all that, and Paul is more everything. But please make sure, I know I talk a lot about Paul Bowers' tweet. I'm a fan of how his mind works. And he confounds me sometimes, and that's a good thing. But anyway, so he's always good for a good tweet as well. So Paul Bowers, I'm gonna start using his tweet, his threads, his feed is gonna be like, basically I'm gonna consider it a publication in and of itself, right? Yeah, subscribe to Hannah's. Yeah, it'll be dope. Support that. I'm all about supporting journalism. Look, I talk real quick. Let me just get this out the way. I talk a lot of shit. I talk a lot of shit about Post and Courier. I criticize the state newspaper. I critique. I do all of that. But I feel like I can do that because I'm a subscriber. I pay for the Post and Courier, and I have for years. I pay for the state newspaper, and I have on and off for years. I am an ETV member. I subscribe to as many independent journalists, their content, or like things like The Intercept and stuff like that, right? It's really important to support media, and I feel like I can talk my ish. Okay, I can talk my shit because I'm actually invested in these things, and I want you to just be as invested as I am at whatever level. You don't have to pay for all this either. Go ahead and use that library card to access the state newspaper. Use that library card to access the Post and Courier. Use that library card to access a lot of major publications. Good morning, D. Good morning. Right. A lot of y'all who watch me already support Paul, so please keep doing it. All right, so this is funny. This caught my eye. And this is all media related. We're doing a media roundup. So this is Paul. Can't think of a whinier baby in South Carolina media circles than Will Folks. He built a career on gossip, but he becomes apoplectic. He meant apoplectic, just miskeyed. We'll get to why that matters in a second. But becomes apoplectic at the slightest shade throwing about himself. So this is so funny. The Murdaugh, I'm gonna just say from a personal standpoint, the Murdaugh story, I'm already exhausted. I'm done. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Beyond those who have died getting justice, I don't care. Those who have died in the circle within the gravity of this family getting justice, outside of that, I really don't have too much. I'm not invested. But this shit right here, so the AP wrote this story on the 23rd, it was published. Alex Murdaugh's lawyers want suing attorney to stop talking, okay? So I'm not even gonna catch you up on where this case is, because Lord knows I don't even know. Let's make this a little bigger. Lord knows I don't know. All right, these ads are ridiculous. Let me see. Make it okay. So the AP wrote this, and then we're gonna find the Fitz News part. We're gonna find it. Okay. Fitz. Here it is. Okay. Here you go. So this is what Paul is referencing. Again, this is the tweet from Paul. So I don't follow Fitz News. I blocked them ever since they said that I retweeted a terroristic tweet, and I didn't. Someone replied to my tweet, and my name was in the mentions, and so they thought that was a retweet because Will can't read the internet and got fooled. Right. So, this is the part. I don't even need to show you the article. This is the article Paul's referencing right here. All right. So they're talking about the Murdaugh case. I'm gonna close that out. Right. And then here, this is the part that Paul screenshot. The gag order requested by Murdaugh's attorneys included 6 pages of comments Bland has made to reporters. Most of them, Bland is the attorney in question, most of them to fitznews.com, an internet site founded on political gossip and commentary on the looks of women. So this is first of all, I closed it, but his name I think is Jeffrey Collins with the AP. I should just send him a fucking edible arrangement. This was hilarious. Like, this is the gag order requested by Murdaugh's attorney. Let me read it again. Includes 6 pages of comments from Bland, the lawyer in question, the lawyer they're trying to shut the fuck up, to Bland, has made to reporters, most of them to fitznews.com, an internet site founded on political gossip and commentary on the looks of women. The site now has 2 reporters who concentrate almost exclusively on Murdaugh. It's clickbait gold, right? So Paul goes on. So that's what Will didn't like. So I guess in the tweet that I can't see because I blocked Fitz News, he's all mad, like, oh, I can't believe they said this about me. I think somebody might include it. No, somebody might include it. I'm not sure. But then here it says, so Paul's showing you some of Will's finest work here. This is from 2010. This is like them trying to implicate Nikki Haley in what? Is this murder? No, let me stop. Let me not be like that. Yeah, just real bad, not murder, y'all, but implicating Nikki Haley in some, Haley-gate. Clickbait, right? So it says, sorry, did I say Coily suggested I meant to say milked for content and attention, right? So this is the gross shit. I didn't know that Fitz News did. I never consumed Fitz News before they suggested in an interview with the former owner of Milk Bar that I retweeted a terroristic tweet. I never even really, I knew about it, but I'm like, it's not my jam, right? Anyway, he's not making himself the story. His articles are padded out with anonymous tips and innuendo, and the commentary on the looks of women absolutely is and was a part of his shtick. Yeah, so there's some really gross stuff about judging Nancy Mace's body. I guess this is Nancy Mace and Joe Cunningham, Rachel McAdams. Paul got receipts for days. I wouldn't even have the will to Google all these stories or right. So Will responded. Look at Justin. Will responded in a number of ways, but this is one. Shout out Justin. This Justin, friend of the show. I built my career on scooping the mainstream press. He thinks he's fucking what's his name, Matt Drudge? You're not. You're really not. I built my career on scooping the mainstream press. Also, it's apoplectic. So he just got Paul on. You want to try to go toe to toe with Paul Bowers? You ain't got the intellectual heft, bruh. Let me tell you that this dude's mind is like a Rubik's cube, like one of those crazy Rubik's cubes, like advanced level. Like, get out of here. So if Paul misspelled a word, believe me, it's just because his fingers just, he was really fast with the typing. But yeah, he went on to say like he posted some other gross, not gross, but some other like dystopian like meme of a meteor. Like Fitz News is the meteor, and the legacy media are the dinosaurs. Like meteor. So like it was just weird. Like he really has like a God complex as well. I wanted to read a couple tweets underneath what this thread, including from like Justin, and also a shout out to Earth the Snit, friend to the live stream. I love what Courtney, I love what you said here. I don't understand why Dems tiptoe around this man. I don't.
Now listen.
That's called motherfucking bars, man. Come on. Like, I don't really understand why Dems be acting like they can't say nothing. You scared you might show up in that rag, right? And a lot of y'all, this actually encapsulates a lot of people. Like, there's some overlap between people. People really just wanted to know the facts on the Murdaugh case, right? And Justin, I hope you don't mind me mentioning your name. You and I had this exchange. Like, the reporting, it does appear to be like the reporting from the young lady, especially, seems to be really sound on the Murdaugh stuff. Of course, they've cultivated relationships with a lot of these people, as you want to do, as you should do in the media. They cultivated some relationships, so they have access. They have a lot of access to some key figures in the case, like Bland, right? And it's starting to really shape the case. This is what probably Will wants, right? He's actually been very, 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 very capable and good at getting people to view him as a credible news outlet. They might say, oh, he might be right leaning, or I think he's a faux libertarian, but he's a libertarian that loves the Confederacy. So you figure that out. A lot of libertarians got that real fucked up race analysis, like a lot of them. And I'm being really polite. I don't want to say the racist word, but they want police accountability, but like their race analysis is like, I don't know. I encounter more Will folks and less I don't know. The other kind of libertarian is kind of this kind of chill. I don't know. Anyway, the reporting with podcast, I get it, why people were intrigued by it, but I hope people were being, I hope they see the other type of content that Will puts out, and understands how gross it is and how dangerous some of it is, like, especially calling me a terrorist. That was really offensive, and I didn't raise enough hell about it at the moment, but just really really corny shit, but the podcast seems to be just really popular. And I've seen a lot of people kind of like ignore the icky parts of Will just to get access to this podcast. And I personally can't do that. Like he's a really filthy person. I can't do it. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I just don't. So anyway, that's Fitz News. That's some of the reaction. Again, Dems, please stop. Please stop. Please. Let's stop. It ain't that serious. Create new relationships, right? Don't ever let one of us become like, don't give us too much, don't give certain people too much power. I don't believe in that at all. All right, let's we did Dr. Annie. Okay. Oh yeah, this was the tweet we already talked about this though. So I'll close it out. Let's get over here. So this is important. And we're gonna hop back to some video or some other headlines and whatnot. So shout out to Caroline Greco. We are working on it right now. We are working on it right now for the new year. Shout out to all the academics doing a lot of work right now. Shout out to academics who've reached out to me and want to do things in the new year. Caroline will be on Mic'd Up. Have my word. You have my word. Yeah, Joni. Good job. Justin, I'm glad you laughed. Caroline will be on Mic'd Up. I'm a fan of her voice, how she's choosing to use her platform as a historian, as an academic. The piece that I didn't, one day I was supposed to read more from the piece that she co-wrote, talking about how the Post and Courier continues to sell that antebellum, that faux antebellum bullshit, racist, image to sell its real estate. Like she co-wrote that for the Washington Post. But anyway, this is the latest tweet from Caroline. It says the Post and Courier through the Post and Courier Columbia. They've increased their footprint throughout the state. They are supposed to be the state newspaper now, right? They've got a footprint in the upstate, Midlands, the PD, and of course here in the Low Country, right? All right, so Post and Courier through Post and Courier Columbia took out a sponsored ad on Facebook showcasing one of its reporters' many years of experience, okay? One of its reporters' many years of experience. The problem is the photo the newspaper chose seems to feature the reporter wearing a Confederate States of America belt buckle, right? And what I think what Caroline is doing is a lot of what I typically try to do, which is kind of zoom in on like little things that y'all might think are either idiosyncrasies or like coincidences, but it's not. This was intentional. This was very intentional. And as a sports fan who consumes a lot of sports media, I don't consume a lot of local sports media, state or Low Country, because it definitely is not speaking to me, right? Like it's speaking to a very specific subset of listeners and sports fans, right? And you get my big I'm winking, right? So you get what I'm saying, right? And this is just this sums it all up. So they posted this ad. She's better than me, but we're gonna show his face in a second. Caroline didn't show his face. She did the right thing. Caroline, you did the right thing. You did the right thing, Caroline. I'm gonna do my thing. But yeah, so she shows you, not only am I offended by the belt buckle, I'm also offended by this being your Gamecock leading voice. Is he wearing a phone holster still? Let me stop. Sorry if y'all wear that. Sorry. So, but what Caroline does here is she shows you the Carfax, right? Come on, here we go. Right. So these are she just Googled. It looks like she Googled Confederate belt buckles, and there you go. CS, right? Confederate States, right? It's gross, right? So let me see. I sent it to myself. I think they took it down because I went to the Post and Courier post haste, and I saw the ad. I saw the post first, and then it was sponsored. And then I didn't see it this morning when I went back, but I screenshot it for myself. Let me see. You said he always trashing my employer, and it was always racist undertone. Who was that? The reporter I'm talking about, Joni? All right, hold up. Now here we go. No, we're gonna play it. We're gonna do it like this. All right, so this is the ad in question, right? So again, Caroline did the right thing using her platform the way she used her platform. She didn't disclose his face and name, but it's David Cloninger, right? Over 20 years on the Gamecocks beat. And this is exactly the kind of sports coverage they want. Think about this. As a sports fan, as someone who consumes everything from even the conservative. I do consume a lot of, come on now. New York sports radio is hella conservative. I still listen to the Fan, and you know, they like the show I love is Boomer and Carton. They always have like Chris Christie up there. They at the beginning they was like pro Trump, and then Trump went off the rails, and they kind of like, oh, I don't know, whatever. But you know, they play footsie a lot with some of the corny shit. So I consume a lot of conservative voices in sports media, but at least what those networks or what those programs try to do is diversify with other voices in some way, shape, or form, right? And one thing I hate about all of media in South Carolina is that it just continues to center only one perspective, and this like middle-aged white, you know, New Balance wearing, sorry, I know I'm doing this and this is very harmful, New Balance wearing, it's like the guys that you see in those like those progressive ads, like how not to become your parents. Like one of those white guys. And it's like, yo, I'm like 20 years experience. Gamecocks done had how many black athletes, top tier? Gamecocks, whether it be basketball, football, whatever. Like Gamecocks done had how many black and brown athletes deliver those championships or deliver those, like how many people from Clemson were black Olympians or like championship winning, this, that, and the third top draft picks. You can't find one former alum / student athlete. You can't find anybody interested in media to like kind of come in there and like maybe even pair with this dude. Because I'm not dismissing the 20 years of like proximity, but like, I'm like, what? Like, so y'all can't find nobody black or brown or like a woman, maybe a woman that knows sports? I don't know. Jesus, where are we gonna find women that bounce balls and catch things and jump high? I'm like, what the fuck? So it's corny. It's corny right there. Let's go back to the tweet. This is all about press accountability. This is why I'm bringing it up. It's like local news and noise that really caught my attention, right? Yeah, all right. All right, so anyway, so Caroline goes on, her tweet, this thread was fire. I shared this on Instagram in my stories, right? I'm getting so shadow banned on Instagram. It's funny. I'm getting more traction on my personal account with 2,000 followers than I am on Charleston Activist Network. I have no clue why I'm shadow banned, but I am. All right, again. So she's saying this, I'm not bringing the individual reporter's name or face into it because I want it to be clear. I love this part. This is really important. I want it to be clear that this is about how the Post and Courier and the Post and Courier Columbia market themselves. All right, it may be a careless mistake, but it's ultimately the paper's responsibility. Absolutely, couldn't agree more, right? This symbol would be recognizable to many people, whether neo-Confederates or anyone who knows a bit about Civil War history. What kind of message does it send? Even if mistakenly, and she's giving them a lot of benefit of the doubt that I'm not going to do that. I'm not. And that's what she should do. I'm a little more reckless with it, right? With my speculation. All right. So it says, what kind of message does it send, even if mistakenly, for the state's flagship paper to appear to show tacit approval of the Confederacy, right? She goes on now to lift up that article, again, that we didn't spend too much time on, but when Caroline does join us, we'll revisit this article and many other things that she's either commented on or just engage on why, as a historian, she feels it's important to make sure that the press and other news outlets remain accountable to its readership. So again, if you haven't, this is a story, it's titled Perspective, Portraying Plantations as Luxury Real Estate Downplays let's go ahead and click on it, Mika, come on. Okay. Yeah. Portraying plantations as luxury real estate downplays the legacy of slavery. All right. So this was published back in October on the 21st. And again, it features a couple of voices that you'll know from from South Carolina, or folks who tweet about South Carolina and all that other stuff. All right. So yeah, we're going to dig into that maybe in the new year more. So, but this thread was really good. Again, she says, now we'll finish out here. I'll give the I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Stop it. The benefit of the doubt, this may be an oversight. And legally, I guess the reporter can wear whatever bigoted symbols he wants. Now that was... Am I annoying you with these air horns? I hope I'm just waking you up. But yeah, that part was important. That part she lifted up was important. That if I can get back to it. Nope, because I clicked out of it. My bad, y'all. I'm up here hitting air horns so hard that I can't stay on task. Let's go back. And yeah, this is her bio right here. Environmentally minded historian of and from South Carolina, VAP back in the South, finishing up a book, Hurricane of the New South, out in the fall of 2022 from UNC Press. Okay, so she's got a WordPress website here as well, and we're gonna talk about that. Hopefully, when I get to interview her, we can talk about all of that. Going back to her thread though, real quick. Again, give the benefit of the doubt, this may be an oversight, and legally, I guess our reporter can wear whatever bigoted symbols he wants. But does the Post and Courier and PNC Columbia really want? Is this what they really want to market, right? And I would say, yeah. That's why he's been writing about this for 20 years, and they probably aren't lifting up similar voices that they could. They're not trying to locate other voices. All right, y'all quiet in the chat. Drop me some thumbs up if I'm still here. I don't know what's going on. Y'all quiet today. It's okay. I know y'all trying to get the tryptophan out and all that. Trying to come back, get back to things. Thank you, D. All right, let's go ahead and transition. Okay, so that's some local news, some local noise. We're gonna keep going back and forth with news and noise. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're different. Want to lift this up too. I am trying to work on a Citadel live stream. I want to talk about all things Citadel. I want to talk about his horrid past. I want to talk about some of the one thing I've never leaned into is I've never leaned into, thank you for the thumbs up. Never leaned into the whole like black student pioneers at the Citadel. I became curious about it after working under Dr. Felice Knight, who teaches at the Citadel. I might be conflating some things, but I don't think I am. I think Dr. Felice Knight, I think her dad went to the Citadel. Am I off? I don't know, but around the time that I was on the history and culture, subcommittee of the commission, right, Amber's commission. That's when I became a little bit more, as certain names started to drop about like pioneers in Charleston, black pioneers who've been relegated to obscurity. I've become more and more fascinated with, well, what was that experience like, right? I don't have a favorable opinion of the Citadel in terms of what it was founded to do, in terms of what it did and how it loomed over black people. That being said, thankfully through this platform and other ways I've used my voice publicly, black alumni of the Citadel have made their way into my life, and it's been really interesting to hear their experience, hear more about their motivations as to why they enlisted at the Citadel. It really makes it more a complicated story. And what I'm learning in my 41 years of savagery is I'm learning that everything is so layered and complicated. And it doesn't mean I have to, I still feel what I feel about the Citadel, but I feel something else about these black students, alumni, history makers who survived the Citadel, right? We talk a lot because when I was in high school, when I was leaving high school, the whole, Shannon, what's her last name? The young lady who dropped out, and Nancy Mace, she got the whole first grad, again, lucked up on that. What's Shannon's last name? Or do I have her, is her last name Shannon, right? Yep, I got you, D. I got you, D, on that last comment. I think I closed it out. I think I did close it out, but we're gonna get to that. Yeah. Hey, Brandon. Yeah. Thank you, Brandon. All right, Shannon Faulkner. So like, I learned about that. You know, oh wow, women are allowed, right? But we never talk about the black pioneers who actually, what they went through, their experience. And this is what Charleston loves to do, right? They might revisit it with this 40-year retrospect, like, oh shit, this was really bad for these black people. But guess what? It's not as bad as it's not bad like that no more. Like that's the kind of fake kind of analysis they kind of tend to do. That was very sloppy of me, but you get what I'm trying to say. And so I'm working on having a conversation. Shout out to Alvin, friend of the show, future interviewee. We got to lock that down this week. Brandon, that's where I've been, Brandon. I will say that mentally, Brandon, I know I owe you and Fernando a shit ton of stuff. Mentally, I've been trying to build out this content. No excuses, but I want to be accountable publicly to you, Brandon. Brandon, I owe you information. I owe you and Fernando information. Keep me honest. We're going to get to this right here. We're going to get to this tweet right here. We're going to get to that, but we want to get to more Caitlin Bird. Wanted to point this story out because we're going to, and then we're going to get to that part. More Caitlin Bird. I've invited Caitlin Bird. Let me go ahead and be messy. Caitlin, I've invited you. I want you on this live stream. Come on now. Come on. I know it's a burgeoning live stream. I know when y'all see, oh, only 130 views. Started from the bottom. Got to start somewhere. Come on. It's going to be worth it. You're going to get a couple more clicks. Going to be a couple more clicks on them stories. I know it's probably not your currency, Caitlin, but come on over. It's a formal invitation. Really respect your work. Really, really do. All right, so we're going to talk about, Caitlin's also been tweeting up a storm on these maps, and we're going to get into, that's one of the reasons why I want to talk to her. She's all over it. So many different like low country specific stories. She's all over it. All right, so here we go. So this is the tweet first, and then we're going to go back to the Mark Elias thing right there. That, hey, Christy, I gave you a shout out earlier. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you so much. Christy and Dee were just talking about in the chat, right? So, yeah. We're going to talk, Little Mama, we're going to talk about a lot. And we're going to talk about this. So I shared this story with a former black Citadel alum, and they were like, yeah, I got you on this, right? She's like, yeah, there's more to the story. So I'm working on that. All right, so it says, here, let me just read the tweet. This is really important to us, the family said. Is it Janae or Gina? I hope I'm not saying it wrong. Janae Galloway, who is Charles Foster's cousin. And to know that he's inspired other African Americans and people of color to get an education here. We're proud of this moment, right? So shout out to Caitlin Bird. I thought this story was really well written, and I like that. It didn't have a little extra inside info, but that's okay. She can't do everything. But what she did do, I'm gonna click on it right quick. What she did do skillfully was, what's going on? Here we go. Shit. Is she loaded up the article with references, like the old New York Times article about the students, archival memos. I like that. Y'all know that's my love language, is the archives, right? And just other like, just, it's really good. It's really well sourced. And so I just want to get I want to get a black perspective on this story, on this milestone, on the experiences of being one of the first or being one of the few black graduates of the Citadel or students, even if they didn't graduate, right? So I'm gonna close that out. So that's that. So go back to the tweet that y'all were responding to. Caitlin Bird's been all over it. She's really busy too, right? Like, I'm not taking her, like, she can't, like, she might not want to come on here either, right? Let me not take away her agency. But this is interesting. So this is one tweet from the 24th. Yesterday, she was tweeting up a storm about proposed changes in a draft plan of SC's congressional district map, right? And so she lifted up her colleague, Zach, right here. Zach took the lead on the story. We're going to jump into some of this news in a second about the whole gerrymandering, but please go back and revisit Caitlin's tweets regarding redistricting. As you can see right here, this is the tweet y'all responded to here. Mark is Elias. Y'all keep me right. The high-profile attorney who has become a go-to lawyer for Democrats in recount fights to redistricting battles around the country, says he's watching South Carolina after state lawmakers shared draft plans for congressional district maps. I probably should have just clicked on Zach's story. So y'all knew this name. Y'all recognized this way before I did. I didn't know who this big muckety muck was. But Mark says he is watching. This is another name you should know if you are just remotely interested in Democratic politics. Lachlan McIntosh, commit that name to memory. Let's see how, sometimes they like to be really like, yeah. My tweets are my own opinion. Like he's a political operative, right? Those who know. So Lachlan McIntosh wrote the staff maps, and my computer's about to fall off. No wonder. No wonder. It says the staff maps in the SC Senate committee the staff maps that the SC Senate committee just put out for congressional redistricting is a big lawsuit waiting to happen. Look at the 6th district does to take the Democratic downtowns and suburbs out of Charleston and Columbia. It's illegal packing. So interpreting some of this data is not my strong suit, right? But we're going to definitely follow this and learn. For those who are in my boat in a similar position, we're going to learn together. Hopefully I will be engaging some folks from League of Women Voters to talk in very nonpartisan, very matter-of-fact ways about these efforts and about how we can kind of fight this. I will say that my inbox has been full of information regarding the redistricting efforts from League of Women Voters and other sources. Paul Bowers also tweets things, and it's not just he's sharing his thoughts and it's just like inane thoughts. He actually shares stories that are really helpful to read, to further your knowledge or to get caught up on some of these issues. So that's one reason why I think it's important to follow Paul Bowers and of course support him on Substack with the $5 subscription a month, or whatever it is. I believe it's $5 a month. But you'll really catch up really quickly. And this is how we get out. Like, I'm all for everyone getting their news from as many sources as possible. Of course, you want them to be credible sources, but I'm seeing the way media is changing. And, Paul is a reporter by trade. I'm seeing how these reporters who are either no longer with mainstream publications, they're leveraging their years of experience, their degrees, their expertise to disseminate information. And I really encourage you all to follow individual reporters who do what Paul does. And you'll learn more and you'll catch up on this. So again, interpreting this data and breaking it down is not my strong suit. So I want to bring somebody who can help kind of make it plain. If one of y'all have that skill, come on. Y'all can call in. All right. All right. So yeah, Lachlan McIntosh, make sure you commit that name to memory. And we're going to stay on that. And let me see in the chat. You said, yes, ma'am. You talking about, so when Nicole asked in the chat, y'all, when Nicole asked, there's a Confederate flag in the chapel. Yes, ma'am. They refused to take it down after the flag came down to the Capitol. All right. Claimed private institution. Brian says, I didn't know that either. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's chock full of horribleness. Right. Steve Bannon was there. The Republican chapter. Look, I'm not saying there should be Republicans at the Citadel, like have at it, but they've been kind of doing some real kind of like, things. They've been doing a lot of, things. Yeah, they have. I'm not saying these are the Republicans here 5 years ago. I'm not saying this is Republican.
College in Charleston, South Carolina have been suspended.
This is a little flashback on the Citadel real quick. I know we kind of going back to redistricting, but real quick, the Citadel thing. No. We'll get back to this. Okay. All right. So let me take a deep breath. I'm a little over caffeinated. Let me continue to read the chat. So we'll get back to the Citadel real quick. We'll tie it up, right? Right. Okay. Then we go down. D, you wrote in the chat last. All right. He has been working tirelessly in the past years, bringing the suit around the false stolen election. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, D, for letting us know who Mark is. Appreciate you. Thank you. Slowing it down. Need some Teddy Pendergrass playing to slow me down a little bit. All right. Now, tying up the Citadel, Michigas. So 5 years ago, this happened. This is like shortly after I relocated back to Charleston. I'm like, oh, Charleston's so changed. It's so different.
8 students at the Citadel Military College in Charleston, South Carolina have been suspended after photos were found of them on Facebook wearing white hoods that some say look like KKK hoods.
No, not at all.
Some think that. What weirdos those people must be. Yeah, I'm joking, of course.
So my experience with the Citadel, from the outside looking in, on an institution that was designed to keep slaves and keep black people in check. This is what I've always heard. Like, whether it was discriminating against women and hazing them into submission, whether it was casual racism, whether it was explicit racism, whether it was, hey, we'll have Steve Bannon, not just any conservative, we'll have Steve Bannon, a member of the alt-right, we'll have a dinner and lift him up. It's those decisions that they make. And Steve Bannon is not, I'm sorry to tell you this, it is what it is with Steve Bannon. He's a hate monger, right? He's a hate monger, right? So when you bring him into your school, you could have brought any other conservative, any other staunch conservative, you could have brought in there, but you chose Steve Bannon. And so these are their values. These are their values. What you see on the screen is their values, right? It's not their values for every student there, but these are the values. And am I conflating Republican Republican values with hate speech and all that other stuff? I might be a little bit, but I mean, who's doing it? Who are the Dems out here, like playing footsie with neo-Confederates, and are the Dems on campus out there making the news for wearing hoods and dumb shit, or any? It keeps coming from one side, and that might be a little reckless. I'm not a reporter, but that's exactly what comes out of here. Okay, y'all are talking to chat. Kia, it's so good to see you. We'll get Kia. Welcome back. Welcome. Oh, you can tell I'm old. I was not alive when Welcome Back Kotter was on TV live. I don't think I was, but I watched it on Nick at Night. Yeah, Jet Set Chica. Yeah, Jet Set Chick. Yes, Joy, she is. Kid, you gotta hang out. Everybody else is hanging out. You gotta hang out with the crew. We all gotta get together. Maybe at the book club. If the Omarion variant doesn't get us. Yeah. Gargamel. What the fuck? Let me see what y'all saying here in the chat. Wait. It's moving too fast. All right, Jet Set Chick. Okay, and who was it? Oh yeah, Black MAGA was right there front row. You remember, D? I still can't find my live stream from that day. I cannot find my live stream. I was there for like hours. Shout out to Julie from the Midlands. Shout out to the Midlands who came down and protested with us. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You got your book yesterday? Oh, D, you going? Because D, with the book club, I'm trying to do hybrid in person and Twitch as well. Me and Jared talked about it very briefly like last week. So I'm trying to do that. It's going to be in the new year. We're not going to hustle and try to make it December. Going to be in the new year. Yeah, we're going to figure it out. Yeah, maybe a Christmas party. Something like that. I'm down with a Kwanzaa crawl. I'm down with that. Let's go. Who? Kia, you use a pejorative word to describe me. I'm only 10 or 11 people's aunties. I am the OG. Long lost auntie. Yeah, I am OG Meek. Come on now. Don't do that auntie stuff. All right, let's get to what Timmy was. Timmy, what you been up to, Timmy? Well, I've been out here racializing poverty. I've been out here doing a lot of stuff. Let's get into the Tim Scott beat.
Of the American dream.
This dude. So this was November 22nd. This is a show that
has divided.
I don't like this show.
But you
did y'all remember like a few years ago, if you went to the Charleston Forum a few years ago, what's her name?
An eternal optimist.
Margaret Hoover. She's the host of Fire and Line on PBS. It come on after Washington Week, which is the show I watch. I do not watch Fire and Line. But anyway, she sat down with Timmy Scott. They brought her down to the Charleston Forum, and her thing fell flat. And like people laughed at an inappropriate time when she was talking, and she got so pissed off, and she walked off in a huff after she finished. Because what she's saying wasn't funny, but how she said something made somebody laugh, and then I laughed. And anyway, she's just real, like, I think she's conservative, right? Is that what Fire and Line is supposed to be? Like the conservative, like, you know, you got NewsHour and all other stuff, and Washington Week, which is whatever, which is great. I don't know, but this is Timmy.
Yes.
And you have used your personal story often as evidence of the good news.
Absolutely.
You know, a story of the American dream realized.
Yes.
You grew up in North Charleston with a mom who is a single mom, a nurse's assistant.
Wait. I missed that. Kid, you said Facebook CEOs don't tip. Oh, no. Or maybe that's a... I know I'm really heavy-handed with these sound effects, but deal with it. Oh, man. Ugh. You said you what? They don't tip? He's like, I'm wearing an Apple Watch. You showing brand loyalty and they still didn't give you no. That's trash. That is trash. And y'all are working hard. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I know you like the sound effect. I love them too.
Yes.
Who'd work 16-hour days.
Okay, listen to this.
Tell me, what is a lesson you learned from your mother that got you to this historic place you are now as a U.S. Senator from South Carolina?
Thank you,
Noah,
Noah.
for that great question, number one. I love my mom, and I'm literally living her American dream. She probably provided me with 2 or 3 really important lessons, and to pick one would be hard, so I won't. First lesson she taught me was that there's dignity in all work. The second lesson I'd say I got from my mom is that sometimes encouragement isn't enough. So she was always very encouraging, but every blue moon that she would pull me to the side and look me straight in the eyes and give me a Southern form of love and affection and encouragement that came through the form of discipline. Third lesson that came from my mother is to be an eternal optimist, that if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, she would tell me 1,000 times my freshman year, you'll be among the stars.
Okay, so this is what I was trying to remember. I was trying to figure out what the fuck is Tim Scott gonna do? Because look like Trump is about to fucking. He need to, the grift needs to go. He sees how lucrative it is to continue to lie to Americans and to politicize the vaccine while wanting to take credit for warp speed. So much money in telling you that your institutions are rigged, but yet trying to make you participate in institutions that are rigged. And he's just out here confusing folks and all that bullshit. And I was trying to, because my point is like he's still popular, right? He still got a chokehold on the RNC. So I'm like, how the fuck is Tim Scott? He raising like $10 million a month and shit, or a quarter, whatever it is. I'm like, damn, like what is Tim Scott gonna do when the son of a Klansman like goes at it? I'm like, oh, I get it. I see what he's gonna do. Let me just let him play in the background while.
That has stuck with me. So when I'm signing pictures to interns, I always tell them, dream big.
There are 2 men who are also important figures to you growing up.
Absolutely.
You talk about your grandfather.
Yes.
Who picked cotton as a young man. And
listen to this.
Years you learned, never even really learned to read or to write.
Yes.
Thank you,
also
Joni.
write in your book about John Moniz.
Yes.
2 men, 2 different political persuasions, perhaps.
Yes. My grandfather, who was a lifelong Democrat, he voted for me, thank God for that part. And John Moniz, who was a lifelong conservative who died way too young. But they both put their ideology in the back seat as it relates to impacting other people. My grandfather didn't spend a lot of time talking about Republicans versus Democrats, conservatives versus...
Shut up. Your grandfather told you not to vote for them. Stop it. Hey, shout out to the subs. Y'all held me down last week. Thank you. Last time I was on, it was such a fun experience. Seriously, when y'all support, it pours into me. Seriously. Shout out to Evelyn. Evelyn dropped off this dope candle. I'm gonna talk about it in a second. Like, Evelyn dropped off this dope homemade candle for my birthday. I got apple cider donuts. El Cool J, I don't know if you're listening, on I-95. Pleasure activism has had me in a chokehold all yesterday, right? So much so that I downloaded the audiobook version so I can keep reading in the shower. And that wine glass, El Cool J. Right? Yep. So thank y'all the support. The support I'm seeing with the subscriptions and y'all gifting subs to each other is really important. I appreciate it. It's going right back into the content and to pay for this equipment. All right, so some polling shows South Carolina Senator Tim Scott as a top vice presidential candidate, y'all. This is it. I don't know if it's or I don't know. I don't know if it's a, let me see if it's a, or is it, I don't know. Probably. Cause it's real corny. All right. So some polling shows that Tim, so this is the new angle. Cause I know it's not so much they scrambling. They knew that, so they got him saying the right things. If Trump declares his candidacy, I'm all in on the Trump train, right? He said that at the RNC convention here in South Carolina, like, oh, I'm all in, right? And he's still out here fundraising. He's still moving like, okay, I'm gonna position myself like I'm running for president. But what we see is, I think this is the compromised Glenn McConnell. This is why you can't be like putting Glenn McConnell on a pedestal when he does, I don't know, the bare fucking minimum. Like, I don't know, say something to hold Trump accountable rhetorically on the Senate floor. Like that don't, I ain't gonna be gross. I was about to say something really salacious. That don't really like excite me, right? That don't excite me. So this is the compromise of these party bosses. They know, like they gotta wean you off Trump. They can't just cut you off because, you know, this is an addictive substance that, you know, you can't go cold turkey. This could kill you. Going cold turkey could kill you, right? Boo. You want a vomit sound effect? That might make me retch. Joy. Thank you so much for the cheer. Thank you for the cheers and tips. Y'all are amazing. But I gotta change that cheer notification. But like, okay, now I done got all confused because I'm not confused. I got lost. Anyway, because y'all are tweeting up stuff. Y'all are tweeting up boo, vomit sound effect. They're sending up balloon. Right. So no, this is the compromise that Glenn McConnell, I think, is making. Is like, yo, we got to wean people off Trump. We got to wean people off Trump. How do we do this? By having the adult that we can trust, that's also diverse, that's also from a red state, southern red state, right? Let me tell you something right now. If Tim Scott, if it's a Trump Scott ticket, you gonna see some crazy racist imagery. Like, you gonna see a lot of, it's just gonna be, I wouldn't even understand why Tim would even tether himself to Trump. Only reason why Tim Scott, and we've seen him, he's pretty much just power hungry, right? Tim Scott doesn't have, I don't want to kill him too much because I don't want to give him something that he don't own, but he's shown that he'll do a lot of really icky, unsavory shit to get to where he is now, which is a rising star within the Republican Party. So I won't say that he doesn't have any moral center, because he loves, well, you know, that faux religiosity bullshit that looks really weird, really Norman Batesy, to me, really weird, like just the Oedipal shit, like that. Even though my mama, my grandma, like it just seemed real weird, and religious, but like Mama's Boy, like a character in a Tennessee Williams play. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not even gonna be messy. Like a character in like Long Hot Summer. Watch that movie when you get a chance. Like, he's like one of those characters, right? Anyway, shout out Tennessee Williams, spilling tea early. But like, he'll do anything to continue to rise. He is really not much he says no to. You don't hear Tim Scott when you hear Tim Scott. You hear party lines. You don't hear Tim Scott. I don't know if y'all feel like y'all know him. He could talk about his illiterate grandfather all he wants. He can politicize that and use that and weaponize that all he wants. I still don't know who Tim Scott is. And I don't think you do either. But we know that this type of facade that he's chosen to wear, right? We know that one is very appealing to people. But like I said, white supremacy worships at the throne of black mediocrity, right? Instead of supporting something that has vision or illumination, this is bell hooks. It supports cornball shit like this. White supremacy loves an inauthentic, shallow black image, like performative image. Like they love this shit. They love it, and white Dems love it. I'm not even talking about just Republicans. Like white Dems love black mediocrity. They really do. Like it looks like. Okay, let's read the article and stop talking shit. All right, since President Donald Trump's defeat in November 2020, speculation has been mounting about South Carolina Senator Tim Scott's White House ambitions. Facing a safe bet for re-election in 2022, again, Crystal Matthews is running against him. Okay, just so y'all know, facing a safe bet for re-election in 2022, the North Charleston native has raised millions to become Congress's second leading fundraiser as he closes out the year and is regularly mentioned among a list of top prospects for president in early polling for 2024 Republican primaries, right? All right. So, but with Trump already presumed to be the leader of the pack in 2024, pollsters have begun to speculate whether Scott might be better suited as Trump's running mate rather than that's going to look real. That optics is going to look so bad, y'all. You're going to look like the personal valet to the son of a Klansman. Ugh. Tim, did you sign up for this? When they told you, yo, you're going to have to eat a lot of shit. Did you know that you're going to have to be a running mate to the son of a Klansman? The kind of man that your grandfather would have protested against? The kind of man your grandfather would have told you not to support? It probably told you not to support? The man whose father was at a Klan rally? The man who illegally refused to rent to black and brown renters in New York City, leading to one of the biggest lawsuits of its kind? Like you want to be his African American, I guess, the one that he talks about? It's going to look so bad, Tim. Did you sign up for this? When they told you had to eat shit to get this millions, you were like, all right, I'll hold my nose and swallow. This is what you going to do? Like, yeah, I need a vomit sound effect for real. Oh my gosh. Right. He's going to look like a personal valet to a hate monger. It's going to look real lawn jockey-ish. I'm sorry, it's gonna look real bad. In early November, the Harris poll, one of the longest running and respected pollsters in the country, queried likely voters on the preference between Scott and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in a head-to-head matchup with current Vice President Kamala Harris. Ooh, that's the other factor, right? Right? All right. While polls often test a variety of electoral scenarios to gauge public opinion, Scott's inclusion in the head-to-head was intriguing for one reason. While DeSantis was considered the second strongest candidate to replace Trump behind former Vice President Mike Pence at 21%, Scott is a distant fifth. Ooh, talk about the race stuff being a factor. Ooh. They gonna try to push him through though. DeSantis is like a really, he does a really poor Trump impersonation. And I think the way he's bungled COVID in Florida, I even though it doesn't look like it's going to be a liability, I think it will be a liability. And also too, I don't know how that's going. I don't know. But race seems like it's a big factor here. So Scott was a distant fifth, polling 4 points behind Nikki Haley. That's going to be interesting too, because Nikki's still trying to do her thing. All right. With Trump presumably on the ballot in 2024, and I hope y'all knew that. Like, I hope y'all prepared for that. If y'all thought it was going to be just Timmy With Trump presumably on the ballot in 2024, Scott has already announced his intention to support the former president in the effort. However, he previously downplayed his interest in being Trump's running mate during an appearance at the South Carolina Republican Party's first in the South convention in Myrtle Beach earlier this year. All right, while his campaign has refrained from comment ahead of the re-election bid for 2022. All right, yeah. So, spokesman for Tim Scott, Bradford Trawick, commit that name to memory, Bradford Trawick. All right, at this stage, we don't have any comment on speculation on speculation for 2024, even for VP. Okay, Bradford Trawick said in a text message, when this re-election race is over, then we can focus on the possibility of the future. All right, so Timmy's been busy. Let me transition. So he's been busy on firing line
versus liberals. He talked about being the right person at the right time, living your life in a way that you're an example or a model for others. John said it's better to create jobs than have a job. It's better to have a profit than just an income. He was a business owner, a very successful guy. So merging those two people together where their ideological differences were always in the back seat, and what was in the front seat was the potential they saw in people. What a blessing for me.
So you described.
I don't know how that.
Our first guest is Senator Tim Scott.
So this is another. This is from Axios, from the same day. I want you just the first few minutes, and then we're gonna switch to some other clips, recent clips. But we're seeing Tim Scott position himself, much like Nancy Mace is trying to appeal to everybody in her district, right? So Nancy Mace is trying to do something a little different. Tim Scott is trying to promote an image of viability, electability, and also wedging the whole education issue, stay at the forefront of your mind when it comes to education, opportunity zones he's promoting, a lot of sneaky stuff. So Axios, I'm not a big fan of Axios. If y'all like Axios, I could take it or leave it kind of thing. I know what it is and what it's not. But I'm not a big fan of Axios. It's very white and very male. So that right there makes me like, I don't know if I want to keep reading white male opinions at every turn. So yeah, let's play a little bit of this so you get a little bit of what Tim is trying to. This is recent. This is the reason why I'm playing this. This is recent news. This is him making an effort to get out in media, and these are the things that he's promoting. So this is the title of this video: Senator Tim Scott talks financial literacy in an Axios interview. And again, this was posted at least on Tim Scott's account, on the 22nd.
Scott, Republican of South Carolina. Senator, you're on the banking, finance, and small business and entrepreneurship committees, so we're for sure in your wheelhouse. Senator Scott, welcome to Axios.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Mike. Good to see you again.
So, Senator, you were early on the idea of financial literacy, calling it out, promoting it, talking about why it's important. What put you onto that?
Just a little bit.
Well, as a kid who was raised in a single-parent household mired in poverty, I got to tell you that the issue of financial literacy is something that I wish I would have understood earlier in life. It was really in my 20s before I started really understanding and appreciating that what you look like on paper might be more important than what you look like in person. And so financial literacy has so much to do with your future success and your present opportunities. And having not learned those lessons early in life, I wanted to make sure that a part of my focus is on making sure that Americans today, no matter what their income, they have access to financial literacy. And frankly, the more you find yourselves in marginalized communities, the more important financial literacy really is.
I think also, too, what you see Tim Scott trying to do specifically with financial literacy is to position himself as somewhat of a subject matter expert on, as you can see, they have his committees here. So Senate Banking Committee, member of the Senate Banking Committee, Finance, HELP, all caps, an acronym for something, I don't know, Small Business Committee, right? So he's on all those committees. And also he's been a staunch opponent of Build Back Better and pointing out all the financial loopholes, whatever. I think that's the other part of this interview too. But what he does in here, this is the thing about Tim Scott eating shit, that as a black person, I could never, but there are some people like Candace Owens who found it to be profitable to eat a lot of like anti-black shit. And make quite a living out. It's very lucrative to be a self-hating black Republican, right? That's very, that's very lucrative. And for those who think they're not all like that. Like, I know the left don't like Colin Powell, a war criminal, right? But Colin Powell was not a self-hating black man. He was not. Did he eat some shit? Of course. You black and a Republican? Hell yeah. He paid for that publicly, right? He paid for that publicly. And in a lot of other ways, he paid for it as well. His political ambitions were thwarted, because you thought that you could uphold white supremacy and not fall prey to it. Psych. But Colin Powell was not self-hating. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so like, you can do that with integrity and with dignity. Tim Scott is not that. Tim Scott is not drawn like and Colin Powell, the advantage that Colin Powell had was he had the military, that he had that type of leadership and acumen. Like, you wasn't going to tell Colin Powell. Like, I mean, he got played, but my point is, like, when Colin Powell spoke, I felt like Colin Powell was speaking for Colin Powell. When Tim Scott speaks, I feel like it's the RNC, it's Mitch McConnell, it's the donors, it's the DeVos family, it's the millionaire in Hawaii, it's the Zuckers. It ain't him. It's money from Qatar. It ain't Tim Scott talking. You feel me? Like, he's a facade. Like I told you, he can, in 5, 6, 7, 8, he can 2-step to the left. Cha-cha now, y'all. He can do all that, but he can't give you nothing else. He cannot give you more than just the basic choreography. And to me, it just feels like a black man performing respectability for the white gaze. It literally feels like an act. It feels like a robe that he dons. Maybe bad analogy, because Klansmen wear robes. Y'all been lighting up in the chat. I kind of want to visit some of the stuff you were saying. Nicole, you said, oh God, I'm from Florida. And the ads from him, you talking to D, were so horrible, right? Yeah, baby Trump putting on a onesie. Yeah. All right, what do y'all think? What are y'all thoughts? Do we think Trump is really running? Yeah, he's really running. He is. I think so. He ain't going to jail, D. Bartlett. If you wait, not saying you per se, but anybody out here waiting for Trump to go to jail, pack a lunch, because you're gonna need some sustenance while you wait. It's not gonna happen. Me and my dad, we on that. Me and my dad is at the barbershop, like, nah, he ain't going to jail. So he gonna get a couple embarrassing things released, and that's it. If Trump sees the inside of the jail, I'll click on one Fitz News article when that news happens. I'll do that. I'll give Fitz News one of my clicks that I'll never ever give again. That's my wages to myself. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to catch up. If Trump is legally allowed to win, he absolutely will run. Thank you, Joy. You got it. Yup. He lives for this. This is his thing. And he hates not having Twitter. Like, he hates not having access to people. He can get that through traditional media who will CNN, MSNBC, all your mainstream faves are going to love covering this fool again. Right? So he loves that. He needs that. If they would just not report on his foolishness, cut it by half, he wouldn't be nearly as powerful and as influential as he has become. Right. He absolutely will, Joy, though. Kia. You boxing him out? He probably did get boxing him out. Right. Susanna, you said he literally lives for campaign donations. He literally lives on campaign donations. Absolutely. What's up, original gangster? Yeah, not Robes. I know. He's an attention. Yes, he is an attention whore. Yeah. All right. So back to Tim Scott. Tim Scott is also racializing poverty. That's the one thing I think is really gross about him, about being a self-hating anti-black conservative, is like the way he continues to racialize poverty and illiteracy and financial illiteracy, whatever that is. All right.
Senator, there's a lot of conversation about financial inclusion. What can the U.S. government do or should do to promote financial inclusion?
This guy don't got no top lip.
I think there are remedies that really
don't have a top
remedies bursting discrimination.
Hold on, I'm trying to fast forward this. Hold on. To the next question. Because the next question was, I think, the icky one for me.
More interest rates and better terms get that opportunity without any question.
Yeah. Senator, you've lived this as both someone you point out grew up with a single parent and also started your own business.
Absolutely. There's no doubt, Mike, that the truth is that had it not been for financial literacy in my early 30s, I would not have been able to start that business. I remember walking into a bank and asking for the manager to believe in my dream, to believe in my vision, to look at my work that I've done in the insurance business and give me a chance to own.
Kid, you know he didn't play no damn football. That's what you call a political prop. Yeah, he's trying to, I don't know how men, like I really would like to do a secret poll of white men. And like, cause I know their opinions on him is really interesting. Like I know this computer keeps slipping. I know white Republican men have very interesting opinions on Timmy Hill. You know he ain't playing no football though. But listen to like you see what he's doing? Like and that reporter, the other chick did too. Margaret Hoover did it too. Like, it's just trash. It's just trash. Let me just hear it again.
Since I remember walking into a bank and
hold on.
Absolutely. There's opportunity without any question.
And Senator, you've lived this as both someone you point out grew up with a single parent and also started your own business.
So like this
Absolutely.
whole
there's
like
no doubt,
so
Mike,
we talked about a little bit like is it Dr. Carol Anderson when we talked about the whole a certain pathology you need, right, to blame things on black people, like, oh, why black people burn down. We talked about, like, she mentioned like the pathology, and that really made me think about like the almost like I want to vivisect Tim Scott. Like if I could like do like a version of the game operation and just have Tim Scott there and of course fully clothed. Please. If it was Tim Scott instead of like the patient in operation, Tim Scott, and like just like what is he composed of, right? All these different things. I would love to vivisect Tim Scott because one thing that he definitely does is weaponize. He furthers this. He uses and abuses and weaponizes the pathology of the downtrodden single, black kid, illiterate grandparent from the South who overcame it all, bootstraps and all that other stuff. He uses that. And a lot of white folk, right and left, love that type of narrative, right? And also like supporting that candidate to them feels like charity to them. So it's just really interesting that he continues to employ that even as he's gained this like really significant political power. He's accumulated and built significant political power. Maybe more influence than power, no, I don't know. But my point is he has a position. He's becoming a household name. He is on all the when you're on the Sunday talk shows, y'all, that is a big deal. That is a big deal. It might not feel that way because we've been inundated with so much. We got 24-hour news channels. But when you're on a Face the Nation or a Meet the Press, that's a big deal. Or sitting with Chris Wallace on Fox, that's a big deal. And he's one of those people who have definitely just made the rounds there. And he's just as regularly a contributor in those spaces as a Lindsey Graham. Right. And so it's just interesting. Like if I could do a little game of operation, I'm like, okay, here's the self-hatred. Okay. Oh, that's where, okay, school privatization, millionaire, back in that. You know, it's all these interesting pieces that make up a Tim Scott. He is not an easy person to figure out. I will never ever say that. I will never assert that Tim Scott is a simple person to figure out. He's actually quite complex. But there's just so much things we don't know about Timmy. We just don't know enough. But the way he weaponizes this thing with like, oh, my single parent, this and that. Look, I came from a 2-parent household. We wasn't rich, but we was good. You know, we got Jordans and Christmas and shit like that. 1 Game Boy instead of 2 though. Anyway, so like, yeah, you know, I grew up in a, not letting it go, Trudy. I grew up in like, it was comfortable. It was comfortable. We ain't want for nothing. We never was hungry. My mom used to shop like supermarket sweep. Seriously, she used to like the whole buggy and then some, the whole bottom top. You know, like we was good. We was good. But like we had economic challenges. Like my parents could read and write. My parents, you know, own property. Like you know, they came from the Jim Crow South. Like you don't have like, why is that? Like it's just really weird to keep painting black people as this one-dimensional thing. And like it's these like extreme poverty and illiteracy or the Cosby Show. Like, no, like it's so many different variations there. It's crazy. Let me see what I do want to know, Kia, to your earlier point. I do want to know what McMaster thinks of him. I haven't seen them interact a lot. I haven't. I know they played a role when they're in public, when they're together, but like I ain't seen, you know, I don't know. Cause you know, we talk a lot about Henry McMaster, but we don't really I'm gonna say this, and I don't really say this often. We don't really respect the years that Henry McMaster put into this, right? So he's just now, even though he's become more of a household name for me, my, you know, a lot of the stuff that I do to prepare for some of these live streams requires me to look into like headlines from the 90s and you know, when he was the head of the state, you know, RNC, excuse me, the state Republican Party, excuse me, the state Republican Party. Like, we don't really see, like, dude has built power too. Like, he's largely influential too. So I think sometimes I feel like McMaster has his own orbit, like his own thing he's doing. Because he wants to be a power broker within the state of South Carolina. Of course, he might have ambitions, but I think he knows his role in his lane, right? Right. Yeah. Yeah. Kia, that's actually a good distinction. Right, there's a number of class distinctions that Tim Scott won't do because people are so invested in the downtrodden black, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps type of deal. Damn, I wanted to get to that. Let me see. So we talked about Tim Scott. We did the piece from the Post and Courier here. This was written by Nick Reynolds about Tim Scott essentially becoming probably a VP candidate. Let's check on, I'm gonna close this out. Let's check in on Lindsey Graham. How y'all doing? Y'all feeling all right out there? Listening? All right. The ads are just gross. All right. So, no, this is not the one I want. Oh, no. This is just one headline. This is recently. This is not what I want. I ain't going to dig into this, but Graham emerges as a go-to ally for Biden's judicial picks. So we already seen that. Like, they go back, like, you know, babies in Similac, Joe Biden and Lindsey Graham. Don't even get it twisted. And if Lindsey Graham comes out on TV and does that WWE shit where he talks about Joe Biden, I would never forgive Joe Biden for Afghanistan. It's just WWE. Don't sweat it. It's not real. They love each other. They love each other. You just have to have a really thick skin in politics. So you have to be able to, like, look, I'm about to trash your shit publicly on several Sunday shows, but I'll see you on the links, you know. I see you on the 18th hole. All right, hold on. I'm looking for the piece I'm looking for. All right. Let me see. Oh, this is it right here. Thank you for the thumbs up, little mama. So this was interesting. This was Lindsey Graham. This is on Fox. Y'all know I don't want to get them clicks like that. Lindsey Graham slams, of course, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and the squad over a cash bail. The enemy is radical. So what you see a lot from the right, and Nancy Mace does this almost expertly, is anything they do. It's like a remember, like, it's a Jurassic Park. I'm going all over the place with my analogies. Hold on. A Jurassic Park, right? Or what movie did I get this from, y'all? Like, if you don't move, like the T-Rex doesn't have peripheral vision. So if you just don't move, he doesn't see you. So anytime AOC moves, the T-Rex comes out and like, oh, like, anytime it's just really crazy. So Nancy Mace does the same thing. So anytime, AOC or Ilhan Omar, anytime they even like breathe, like, here they come, right? And that's Lindsey Graham. I don't think he got shit else to talk about. He's trying to be a compromise maker with the Build Back Better, trying to shit all over Joe Biden with publicly with Afghanistan and inflation and shit like that, whatever. And so now him and another familiar face.
Joining us now is the former chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee and the senior senator from the great state of South Carolina, Lindsey Graham. Senator, you and I talk about the justice system all the time.
Oh, really?
There are parts that should be reformed, but setting bond for career offenders.
So, okay, I'm about to be let me not be problematic. All right, let me just play. Sorry.
Who absconded from the sex offender registry would not be what we're.
Y'all know what I'm thinking. If you're watching.
And number one, what does it take to lose your license in Wisconsin? Was this guy driving legally? I mean, there's so many things to talk about here, but,
So they're talking about the unfortunate tragedy that happened at that parade, tragic event, African-American guy. I'm only bringing it up because that's what they're jumping. That's why they're invested in this story. It is horrific. But that's what Trey Gowdy and Lindsey Graham are talking about right now.
It's fashionable in blue states and liberal districts to be soft on crime.
So, this is the soft on crime. I'm going to have to rewind it a little bit. Oh, God.
Fashionable among
Hold on, let me rewind
it. It is not
parts that, and Senator, you and I talk about the justice system all the time. There are parts that should be reformed. But setting bond for career offenders who absconded from the sex offender registry would not be what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He go off on him or go off with him?
What does it take to lose your license in Wisconsin? Was this guy driving legally? I mean, there's so many things to talk about here, but, you did a really good job of making this case real. What do you say to the family of the victims? How do we go to them as a nation and explain to them that this man was allowed to be loose?
You think Trey has some work done?
I
was trying to hold it in. I just had to ask.
When it comes to crime and the radical left, it is fashionable in
so they're taking
in liberal districts to be soft on crime. It is not.
So they're taking this horrific tragedy,
American, to allow this to go.
And I think because the assailant is black.
Congresswoman DeLeave has a bill to.
They're tying this to the squad.
10 years. Mass incarceration needs to go, regardless of apparently what you did because of COVID.
Shut up.
And some squad members want to do it with cash bail. Let's vote on this. Let's take this issue to the House and the Senate and see where members of Congress and the Senate would vote. I'm going to stand with the cops. I'm going to stand with making it harder to get bail when you maul people over and over, not easier.
I want to play a clip for you, Senator. I'm going to get your reaction on the other side.
When they read out all of the charges that he had prior to what he did on Sunday.
Justice for Janine.
It made me sick to my stomach. And then to hear him start crying when the judge mentioned that these carried a life sentence, to me it was selfish that he did that he was worried about himself.
Senator, you mentioned members of the squad and bond reform. You mentioned Rashida Tlaib. You know as much about the federal prison system. I mean, think about who is in federal prison that she wants out in a decade. I mean, the Boston Marathon bomber, the Unabomber, Terry Nichols. For people who forgot who Terry Nichols is in Oklahoma City, and then on our own state of South Carolina, I'm almost positive Dylan Roof is on death row, is he not?
Yeah, I mean, but Trey, this is insane and crazy and dangerous. 2022 is going to be a very dangerous year for America if something doesn't change. Terrorism is on the rise. We have rampant inflation. If we pass Build Back Better, it's just going to throw gasoline on our inflation problem. We have a broken border. You got Iran about to break out with their nuclear program, putting Israel in a box, and here at home.
Oh, shut up. Oh, gosh. Free Palestine, by the way. Let me just say this. Okay, so what you just saw there was, again, I don't know how much they would have ran to that story had the driver been, you know, a white NRA member, you know. I really don't think that you would have seen Lindsey Graham run to a microphone or a camera to dispense his information, dispense his thoughts on the matter, right? We're going to get to Joey right here, Keto Beer Kendall, Joey Cunningham. We're going to get to him real quick. I don't think you would have seen that. So they're doing some really funky shit there. I think evoking the score. This was on the 22nd. No. This is Tim Scott. I already closed the Fox window. Anyway, it was fairly recent that Fox News. I think it's from this weekend, whatever. After that guy plowed through that community so viciously. That came up. I didn't mean to close that YouTube. And I think it's no mistake, even though this is not South Carolina specific, and I want to make sure we lift up South Carolina journalism, news, and noise. Let's what's her name? Lauren Boebert and her gross shtick that she did. I really wanted to get a black commentator to talk on this. I think BNC News. Let me see. Can't find it. But anyway, recently we saw Boebert do this really gross thing. I don't know what Next 9 News is, but we're just going to play it.
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is apologizing now for doubling down on her bigoted anti-Muslim rhetoric following to a fellow member of Congress. Boebert was caught on tape at a public event suggesting that Minnesota Democrat Ilhan Omar could be a suicide bomber at the U.S. Capitol. The website Patriot Takes says that this was recorded at an event in Pueblo on Saturday.
And I see a Capitol police officer running hurriedly to the...
So this is like kind of what Nancy Mace was auditioning for, but then she realized, oh shit, I live in a swing district. I can't really go full in on the Marjorie Taylor Greene. I can't go full on Boebert, right? So this is, but what you're seeing is this, you know, this relatively attractive white woman, petite frame. And I hate when people bring up her dropping out of high school. I hate people bring that up. I think that's real fucked up because there's people who drop out, get their GEDs all the time or whatever. I get what they're trying to do, but they fail at it miserably by, you know, making fun of people who drop out of high school and pursue a GED. So I don't engage in that bullshit. But because she gives you way more. She gives you so much material. You don't even have to go. You don't have to be ableist. You don't have to be elitist. You don't have to be like. You don't have to do all that dumb shit. Like you don't. She gives you way too much shit to work with. You don't. It's like don't even go for that. Same thing with Lindsey Graham. And I have to remind myself with Timmy. Like Tamika, you don't have to worry about his gums. Just talk about his policy. No, I'm talking about Tim Scott's gums all day. But you get what I'm saying, right? But here, seriously, this is just like over the line. But what she's doing, right? You know this room is probably majority male, right? She's wearing her nice little cute jeans. I think they're great. I love the jeans, the heels, maybe a different color I would have went with. But she knows what she's doing, and she's also being very demonstrative, like being very physical and like live in her movements, right? Like this is all to appeal to the white male gaze. And this is what Nancy Mace, she tried to audition for that. She tried to tiptoe into that, but really she realized, oh shit, I live in a swing district. It's not really going like, I need to confuse the Dems and let them think I'm cool. Free Britney. Oh, don't kill the dogs, right? But anyway, this is her being really gross. And when I see women try to imitate the worst aspects of the patriarchy, when I see women try to quote unquote fit in, and be so close to white male power and a white male power structure and uphold it, it really makes me cringe as a woman. That's why we're going to be reading The Trouble with White Women for the book club, right?
Says that this was recorded at an event in Pueblo on Saturday.
And I see a Capitol Police officer running hurriedly to the elevator. I see fret all over his face, and he's reaching, and I'm like, what? The door's shutting. Like, I can't open it. Like, what's happening? I look to my left, and there she is, Ilhan Omar. Oops. And I said, well, she doesn't have a backpack. We should be fine.
Laughs in the room make it even worse. Congresswoman Omar responded to that video in a tweet last night. Said this whole story was made up and that Boebert typically looks down when she sees her at the Capitol. Boebert tweeted this morning that she apologizes to, quote, anyone in the Muslim community she offended, and said that she's reached out to Omar's office. Colorado's first elected Muslim lawmaker, Democratic State Representative Iman Judah, says Boebert's comments dig deeper than just politics.
Amen.
Stereotypes like these often push that agenda of Islamophobia and continue to marginalize groups.
Kia, to that part, right? So yeah, is she talking to preschoolers, right? Exactly, little mama. But Kia, to that point, I don't understand it. Like, it wasn't, I guess either we didn't see the whole thing, but the story that wasn't, I assure you, the punchline was always going to be, Ilhan Omar or AOC, right? They were always going to be, it wasn't funny. It's like my critique of Dave Chappelle. If you're going to say something incendiary, make it fucking funny too. Like, conflict me, make me laugh and like be ashamed or something. Like, it's not even fucking funny. It's just like an expected dunk on your adversary. Right, and it's not even a dunk. The fucking ball hits the rim and fucking ricochets to the other fucking basket. Like, it's but she's thinking she thinks she's dunking on Ilhan Omar. She's only dunking on herself. I'm like, so you just alienate every fucking Muslim? Is that what you're doing? Like, you just gonna alienate every fucking Muslim in your state, who support, like, you just, so every Muslim just gonna have to just take that L? And the self-hating people, just like Tim Scott, they probably are some people who's like, I don't give a fuck, da 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 da. I saw what was happening in Virginia during the race with, I saw some things in Virginia with the Youngkin race. But like, it's just really weird what she did. It wasn't even funny. So I don't even know, maybe we didn't see the whole story or not. And it wasn't a real apology, Michelle, to your point either. Right. Like, we didn't see that. We didn't hear the whole story, so I don't know what kind of lame story. It probably wasn't that funny though. I think those are one of the stories where you got to act it out and be like real, like demonstrative, and like me with my hands. When I don't have no nails this time, but you know what I mean? How I don't know. But let's listen to this real quick. This is the important part. Shout out to News 9. Is that like a local? Because he slipped in a couple. Okay. Yeah.
That are already underrepresented in government, both state and nationally. The reality is that Muslims all around the state and really all over the nation have been faced with Islamophobia for decades. And it was only compounded during the Trump administration. And now that we are kind of turning a new page, Muslims are really having to make up for lost time and really having to rebuild those bridges.
This afternoon, that same website, Patriot Takes, posted another video from the same event where Boebert launched a homophobic attack against Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Boebert has yet to address those comments. I didn't see that one. We've told you we tend to hold Boebert to a lower standard than elected officials in this state because of her propensity to say ugly things for attention and for news outlet. And we've pointed out that that's unfair to other elected Republicans and Democrats in Colorado who don't say this stuff on a regular basis. We're still working through how to best manage all of that, and we figured we should share all of this with you.
Whoa, wait, hold up. What's this news outlet? It's an NBC? Oh my God. Did y'all get, like, that was really, like, very, very, for an NBC News affiliate. Did you hear him just like, let me go back. I know y'all did, but
Republican Congress.
That last part that he said,
That same website, Patriot Takes, posted another video from the same event where Boebert launched a homophobic attack against Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Boebert has yet to address those comments, and we've told you we tend to hold Boebert to a lower standard than elected officials in this state.
We tend to hold...
Now listen, that's called motherfucking bars, nigga.
We tend to hold Boebert at a lower stand. Can you imagine? Can you imagine an NBC reporter here at WCBD saying that about like Nancy Mace? We hold Nancy Mace to a lower standard because she has a propensity to Photoshop memes. Wouldn't you just love to hear that? Like, call a thing a thing. I've never heard. I thought this was like some like local, like a startup or upstart media. I'm sorry. Tired of her shit.
Because of her propensity to say ugly things for attention and for fundraising. And we've pointed out that that's unfair to other elected Republicans and Democrats in Colorado who don't say this stuff on a regular basis. We're still working through how to best manage all of that, and we figured we should share all of this with you.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know if y'all remember Patriot Takes. Patriot Takes is definitely getting a click coin. Patriot Takes, let me see, Takes, Charleston. Let's see. Patriot Takes, they did, they was tweeting when, Patriot Takes, this account, so y'all remember this? I remember Patriot Takes posted this, just so you're aware, Republicans were training volunteers on how to run for office and register new voters for 2022 midterms in Charleston. They are mobilizing quickly, and we should not underestimate this, right? So, of course, let me turn it down. Let me turn down the fake cheering because this is not organic. This was on cue. Okay, I'm gonna let the video replay. But do you remember this? Remember this when Tyler Bear sprayed Bessinger, a white nationalist, and the other white nationalist, Corey Allen, Mr. Breaking and Entering, and Black MAGA is in the. So yeah, they brought that. They brought that guy. He's a member of the LGBTQ community, but likes to weaponize his identity like Tyler does. To say, to act like, okay, you can't be a hate monger and LGBT. He does, that guy with the long hair does all those gross videos where he goes to clean up blue liberal cities because they've been neglected by their blue liberal leadership. So he does all those gross videos where he exploits poor people and like wins them over with like free pizza money and whatever else he probably gives them, to go on camera and say, yeah, this is great. I'm wearing a MAGA hat. It's great. He does that. He really preys upon like the drug addicted and the houseless and like gives them pizza and whatever, other gifts or whatever. And they clean up neighborhoods like Baltimore and shit like that. But like, this is Patriot Takes posted this.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it wasn't organic. So yeah, ain't nobody afraid of this shit, but it's just interesting. Yeah, you literally got people who participate in insurrection right here. Tyler's right here, Corey's right here, and Black MAGA's over there doing his worst Tim Scott impersonation. You got them all here. Tyler's wearing a "Fuck Democrat" shirt. Yeah. Ooh. Kia, you still there? Kia, Karen's in one room. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna end on this note. I want to just put this on your radar. I didn't read it, but let me just point to it. So, Joey came up with this op-ed, just posted on 24th. Voting should be the easiest right to exercise. Former Rep. Joe Cunningham. So he wrote this, and Post and Courier printed it. And so he, again, becoming a more well-rounded candidate. This is what I guess, Tyler and them is doing their thing. I think, is somebody know if Tyler Jones is working on Dr. Annie Andrews' campaign in any capacity? I feel like Tyler's in there because she's retweeting him too. And he's straight garbage. Which, I mean, shit, there's mad straight garbage behind her. But I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the game. I'm talking about the game and the players. Don't take it personal. I'm not calling Dr. Andy trash. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, if it's Democratic leadership in South Carolina behind the scenes, there's a couple of like, right behind the scenes. Tyler is definitely that dude that's like, bleh. All right. So, anyway, Tyler is doing the most right here. And so, what they've been doing is trying to make Joey look a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more like could speak to some of the things that really kind of get Democrats excited. Oh yeah, voter access voting. This is Easy Stance. This is, if you watch Dan Le Batard, you know that stance, that, you know, Captain Easy Stance, hands on hips. Like, oh yeah, people should be able to vote. And then he'll get a resounding for saying basic shit, right? So go visit this article. I'm not going to read it to you. I'm not going to click on it. I'm not going to pass go. I'm not going to collect $200 on that. Cancel. Stop showing you all my personal emails. This was an interesting read too. I don't know who Trudy Gilfillian. I don't know who Trudy Gilfillian is with the Post and Courier. It's an opinion. But this was interesting. This was in the state newspaper. It highlights the Kevin Strickland case. Y'all know Kevin Strickland was just 18, as this article says right here, just 18 when he was arrested for a crime he didn't commit, and he just got released. But in Wisconsin, you don't get no restitution for being wrongfully convicted. So it talks about those rules and tying them to South Carolina. Probably talk about this tomorrow because it's actually important to kind of lift up. Don't know who Trudy is. It's an opinion piece, but it was actually a good read. I read this morning. But Kia, if you're still with me, this is a really interesting dismount. It's not a really, y'all, this ain't got nothing to do with, let me see, anything else I want to talk about. I think we covered everything. Lindsey Graham, Tim Scott, Nancy Mace, playing a doctor on TV, Dr. Annie Andrews, Joey Cunningham, redistricting a little bit, Citadel, Caitlin Bird. We touched on a lot. Carolyn Gregor, we touched on a lot, and it's 2 hours and 13 minutes, and so give or take. So I'm just gonna wrap this up because I just read this right before I got on, right before I hopped on Twitch. I read this. Shout out to I want to have her on my live stream. Beer Girl Meets World. Let's go to her story because I think she put it there first. She always putting she stay putting local businesses on blast. Like, I love it. So she sent me this morning. So okay, what is this? What's So Republic, this is Kia, this is old girl's husband's spot, or they both own it, right? Old girl from Southern Charm, right? Isn't the Republic one of the only black owned businesses left on King Street? And so this is in Republic. So there's a Let's Go brand. Can y'all see that? Because I can't make it big because there's a story. So they had some kind of Let's Go branding marquee inside. Beer Girl Meets World is carving out quite a space for herself, and to ignore it would be to ignore it and to downplay it and to minimize what she's doing would be to kind of shoot myself in the foot, because she's actually doing a lot. She's not emulating me. I'm not saying that, but there's some kindred things in there that she does. She doesn't mind telling you, yo, your shit's racist. Your shit's fucked up. Oh, no, we caught you live on camera in 4K. Yeah, Leva, what's her name? I know she's a maid for white people, pretty much helping white people clean up their image. Yeah, I don't know how to say her name. Anyway, spell it out. Is it Leva, like Leeva? Is it Leva? Or is it Leva, like levitate, like flu? I really don't. I didn't commit it to memory. All right. So this is really sad to see this, though. So I'm going to look into this, and I'm going to see if Beer Girl Meets World wants to join the live stream. We want to bring back some face-to-face interviews as well. So hopefully we could do that. But New Year, we're going to definitely see a lot of new things there if the Omarion variant doesn't fuck with us too hard. But yeah, this is really sad for black-owned business, black and brown-owned business, to have some less. And one thing I will say, this one thing that I will say we can't conflate Democratic politics with black, that's not, if we don't learn anything, we are not a monolith. So there's some black conservatives. There's some black and brown conservatives here in Charleston. There's a lot of them. Actually, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of black people who ignore the abhorrent politics of white-owned institutions, and they will work there. They will manage the spaces. They will do all those things. But then, you know, when they have a personal grievance, they kind of jump up and like, oh, this place is racist. Well, it was racist when you started, but you enjoyed the power and the privileges that came with being part of that power structure. But so one thing I would say with Beer Girls and World, where she kind of is off, is that black don't mean Democrat. That don't mean that. I'm glad that she shared this, but the black owned thing really ain't got nothing to do with this. This is just really shitty politics, and it's base and it's corny. But for those who like the owners of Republic, like to always tout, hey, I'm a black owned business. We got to jump through all these hoops. You don't know how hard it is to stay open on King Street. There's so many things we have to jump. A homegirl told me this on the phone. Yeah, leave her. I got you. A homegirl said that to me on the phone. Was like, you don't understand how many things we have to do and da 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 da. Like, yep, I know. Being black in Charleston is hard. Yep, got it. I don't own a restaurant or a bar, but I surely have a lot of professional experiences that mirror what you and your husband go through. Like, I'm black. I've been in this black body since 1980. Okay, I got it. Right, I got it. Right. So like, so we can't do that. That's the one thing. And it's not a reprimand. It's just like, this is where like we gotta go a little deeper when we call out. Me too. When we call out something, let's make it make sense. This ain't got shit to do. They politics, we already know they politics. Their politics is money, right? And they're in Charleston. Charleston's not blue. Charleston's not purple. Charleston is only blue when it comes to women's right to choose and some faux feminism. That's it. Some shit, I don't want to get too base here. But yeah, that's it. So, but Beer Girl Meets World is the bomb, is doing the right thing, calling it out, getting the screenshots. One thing I can't do though, I can't keep fighting this battle, but I will laugh at Leva at any time I get a chance to just like, yeah. But you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. You lay down with dogs, you lay down with a bunch of, mongrel and this is not race. I'm mongrel. I'm talking about like these people who love to traffic in racism and antebellum bullshit, like that kind of shit. You lay down with those type of mangy people. That's the word I was looking for. Mangy people. You're going to get up with some mangy ass fleas. Absolutely. That's the word I was looking for. Mangy, not mongrel. Yeah. You appreciate the hell out of all Loki Truth Bombs, right? Thank you so much. I'm just trying to, yeah. Like, I don't know why, like, it's just, and see, so real quick, and I'm gonna leave this alone. This is what, like, this is to succeed in Charleston is to be a friend to everyone while being a friend to no one. If you like, that's how you survive. If you really want to survive in Charleston and get your money from Charleston and to get the, benefit from the CVB and to benefit from getting either earned or placed publicity in the Post and Courier, you have to be a friend to everyone while being a friend to none. You have to look nonpartisan, and then you have to like, okay, like it's like what Mark Pepper is doing, right? It's like what Mark Pepper is doing. He's been supporting anti-black policing. He's been supporting police overreach, police, building power. But yet he pops up and he's delivered to a black family by a black man, right? Even in lieu of having a civil rights attorney, you go for the Pepper, like so, because Pepper has been, and the reason why it worked is because Pepper has had one foot in the black community with the parties and shit and the Tories and the MAGAs and the black MAGAs and all that. He's been able to get with black bagmen, right? And so it gives the appearance that, I'm down with whatever. It's like that with influencers, right? You'll see a lot of black influencers not even have their own sound race analysis outside of just representational politics, right? Black this, black that, black that, but they'll align themselves with anti-black white supremacist power structures almost at every turn without any type of, and then when you critique them, you a bully, you a beast, you a this and that, right? So like, they all do this. If you want to remain prominent and powerful in Charleston and get all of your support from Charleston, you have to be a friend to everyone and a friend to, and loyal to none but yourself, right? Right? Yeah. It just that's how you do it here. So don't conflate black with Democrat ever. Especially not in Charleston. Don't do that. But it is sad to see a black-owned establishment trafficking this bullshit. But that's what they do. Right? They want access. They want access to the money, access to the power, and they're gonna get it. All right. Thought I was gonna have a Cyber Monday thing, but I don't like all the capitalism caught up right now. I had to get with the team. Was gonna try to do something, but just what I want to encourage people to do as I log off, please support the book club if you can. Support the newsletter. Let me see if I can go back in my inbox. Hold on. I'm telling you, the Black Friday deals and stuff is just like, I didn't even want to send an email out this morning because of all, like, I'm like, it's gonna get buried. It's gonna get buried in their it's gonna get buried in your news, like in your inbox. So anyway, I sent out the newsletter this morning. All right, before I dip, this is what we talked about today. Catch up on the news and noise you should know. Book club sign up is in here. Shout out to all y'all who called out that I had the old auto response in there. Thank y'all for catching it, and I was slow to fix it, but I fixed it. Shout out to all those who subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Like, what I'll do is I definitely would do this. I'll share this newsletter in the Instagram stories for those who are not subscribed yet. And as you can see, if you view it in your browser, if you hit view in browser, you'll be able to. You see the top left. It says subscribe. You can subscribe that way. You can look at past issues. Support the newsletter. I really appreciate it. I get a couple of subscribes here. I also included the last live streams before Things Taken, Black Indigeneity. A lot of people didn't engage with that content on Instagram as like I thought they would, but I'm shadow banned. Thank you for the bits. I'm shadow banned, but I'll be back tomorrow. I might have to dip out early. It might not, but I'll be back tomorrow at 8 on the dot. Thank you so much. Thank you for the new Patreon subscribers. Thank y'all for the bits and the subs today and the follows. I really appreciate y'all. You don't know how much this means to me. These damn bits. All right. I appreciate it. Have a great Monday, y'all, right? All right. Stream is ending. Bye.